Hey, we're Saints. Happy Thursday. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Father Chris here. Glad to have you beautiful people with us. We are going to talk today about something kind of connected to yesterday's conversation. For those who missed us yesterday, you can go back to our socials and watch about war. And we talked about how kind of the world's at war, not just literally, i.e., Ukraine and Russia, but also like the warring between people. And when we feel in or find ourselves at war with another human being, we feel the kind of a dissonance, sometimes a revenge desire, or a need to get them or show them, to prove ourselves right over the other person. And this is a common thing. I've experienced it. I know you have experienced. But like I said, it creates a little bit of dissonance. We know somehow we're not at peace, right? Like we know that it doesn't feel good. We don't like it. How do we get rid of it? And we don't know how to get from where we are to where we want to be. How do I get to show them that I'm right and they're wrong? I would present to you that the way to successfully resolve the situation is not to be right, but to win. Let me say that again. Don't be right, win. And you might be saying, well, Father Chris, what are you talking about? He's crazy. She's crazy. They said this. I got to show them I'm right. Why do you have to show them you're right? let me say it to you like this. In the course of life, all of our lives, we will all encounter people who will irritate us, who will make us irascible, people who will say things that are offensive or hurtful. In fact, we may also be that person to someone else. I know, indeed, I've done it. I'm sure we've all done that in our lives, where the irritating one who irritates you, you're the same. So how do we get through that kind of stuff without fulfilling that corrupt desire for revenge, to get them back, to show them that I'm right? It begins by recognizing that the resolution to the situation is not about being right. Being right is about your ego. Now, before I go any further, let me just take a quick aside and say, look, if there are things that are of truth, things that are of real, honest value, defend them, fight for them, absolutely. Your family, your faith, the content of your name, absolutely. But most of the things that we get into it is really, or are really, a matter of pride and protecting my own ego so that I can show them why I'm right and they didn't win and I'm the best and they're not, right? Like this whole idea of preserving the ego is what leads to that warfare among people. What I would present to you instead is, why do you care, right? Like, you know that in the course of your life, you're going to come across those irritating people as well as be one of those irritating people to others. Why give it so much credence? Why give it credit? Do you not realize that most of the things that we engage in actually don't even matter? I mean, when there's a situation, handle it. Absolutely. Do it with love and do it with gentility. But handling it doesn't mean you have to show why you are right and they are wrong. It's faster sometimes, better, smoother, easier for your brain to just get it done, move on, and win. True story. A few weeks ago, someone came to me and they said, Father Chris, you said this. They were really angry with me because I said something. And I was listening to it, and in the midst of the conversation, I clearly discerned that the place, the location, the time where the alleged comments were made by Father Chris, I wasn't there. So somehow the person got confused. Obviously, I didn't say those things. And there was some type of miscommunication, mistrust somewhere. And they were like really hot. And I was thinking to myself, my first reaction, my base human reaction was to say, I'm going to tell you, darn it, I wasn't there. And I was in Cleveland, Ohio, and da-da-da-da, and so on. And then I thought about it. Like, if I do that, they're going to respond. And I'm going to respond. And then they're going to respond, and I'm going to respond. It's just going to keep going. There's going to be bad blood and all this kind of stuff. So I finally just decided, by God's grace, because I'm not that good, it just God sprinkled a little love on me that day. And I said the following. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. That's it. And I moved on. And do you know what? It went away. It's gone, right? So in some real sense, in that situation, I won. Right. Now, one of my pastoral staff was sitting with me and he said, wow, why would you do that? Like, why would you? I mean, you weren't there. You don't take responsibility for that. Why would you do that? And I said, well, the truth of the answer, or the truth of the matter is, if I fought with them, it would create a long, drawn-out process. All that person needed was to feel respected, and I tried to give them by asking for forgiveness. And most importantly, it's now over. It's done. It's gone. And holding on to my ego was not worth dragging a silly confrontation out for a lengthy period of time. Does that make sense? We have to, so here's the bottom line in all of it. When we look at the world around us and recognize we're at war with one another, and I don't mean just like obviously the real war stuff, but I'm talking about the battles between human beings. That need to preserve ego, the need to be right, 99% of the time is worthless and a waste of our time. Instead, win. You don't have to be right all of the time. Just win, right? Now, it will get you into a better place. You will start to find that peace, and you will recognize that most things are not worth the time and the effort. Here's the last part of it. It'll happen again. It'll happen again. You'll meet another irritating person who will say something to irritate you, and you'll have to go through it all again. Are you really going to fight battle after battle for the remainder of your life so that you can always be right time and again? Or do you want to win so you can take that precious time that you have and put it to good use, fulfilling your mission and finding that peace, that success that you crave so desperately in your own heart? My hope is that you are not interested in being right, but winning. We can help you do that. Like, look, we've got this plan that we put together about how to actually do that. I gave you a few snippets here today, but there's a very meticulous and detailed process on how to be right. Sorry, how to win and not be right. Right? George Bush moment. And then to say, like, get it. It's time for you. Get it. All you got to do, click warriorsaints.org. We've got a chapter in it, a chapter on it in our book. We also have a series called The Way of the Warrior Saint, which is dedicated to teaching in just short, like snippet versions, how we can overcome all of that chaos, whether it be the temptation to be right versus winning, or a multitude of other things that cause that dissonance and that lack of peace in our hearts. And all you have to do, visit warriorsaints.org, subscribe to The Way of the Warrior Saint, and then you have unfettered open access to the library. And when you do this, we are going to give you teachings that are not from Father Chris or from anyone else on the team, but from God himself. I mean, right from Scripture, where God is speaking and giving us the business, things that actually work to help us transform our lives so that we can put the rightness aside and look for the winness. You understand? It's all of us want to be the very best versions of ourselves that we can be. Strong men, strong women who are living crucifixional lives. We're going to help you do that. All you got to do is join us. You want to find your place? You want to find that peace? You want to find that success? Visit warriorsaints.org. We'll be back tomorrow. Love you, beautiful people. And until then, as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.